Hi. um, yeah, it was a day. We're still in April. You're gonna see this in May because I've got so many videos ahead of myself. It's not even funny anymore. Um, so when Paul was here, and we had talked about, and I showed him a game, the grand tour of the house, like what we used to call the nickel and dime tour, and that's all you'd have to pay to my place. It's a pretty well, it's not a small townhouse, but it's a average townhouse that I love because it's our place. There we go, water. There's some sort of sports ball competition going on right now, playoffs. So I'm avoiding that. So something I've been planning on for years, but just not getting around to it. And Paul suggested, hey, you know what you should do is all those totes of space sets across all themes, organize them into various totes for various themes. Thanks, Paul. So today, Saturday, April, whatever it is, 20th. What happened was that Sandy and I had planned to do a lot of outdoor work today. We're going to do the back deck. We're going to pressure wash it. We're going to clean things up outside. It snowed this morning on April 20th, 2024. It got really cold. That didn't stick on the ground. There was no snow that stuck around, but it was snowing and it was still minus whatever this afternoon. And so I'm not hauling the pressure washer out. I'm not doing that. So the best laid plans of mice and men, that hurt. The best laid plans of mice and men. So what I did do, because it was another day of can't do anything else, I decided to pull down all my totes from the garage. And I made a YouTube live, so if you want to go find that, hopefully it's there for you to watch. So I pulled out all my totes, including the ones I finished in the basement, because I've been reconstituting classic space sets in the interim. So I tucked them all upstairs, and I dumped them all out. I sorted all the baggies, because everything's in baggies, Ziplocs, and I put them in various piles. And I was as surprised as anyone. Oh, my hair. I was as surprised as anyone. You don't really realize after decades of collecting, and I have been collecting for decades, exactly what you have. So I had 9 Rubbermaid totes to start, and the big totes, the rugged totes. And I made a pile of classic space, then Futuron, Blacktron, Space Police, Mtron, Blacktron 2, Space Police 2. And I went around Space Police 2. I combined Unitron and Spyries because I wasn't even going to bother. I was not even going to bother. But with my color blindness, and I was already huge piles of Ziploc bags full of Lego, Spyrius and Unitron just got piled into one. I didn't bother trying to sort them out. And then Ice Planet, fantastic, got its own pile, and Explorian's got its own pile, and UFO got its own pile. And then other sets that shouldn't have been in the classic space because it doesn't go from 6880 to 6991, like Benny's Spaceship and Life on Mars and Mars Missions, I guess. Yeah, whatever. I didn't bother. They just got sorted out and put somewhere else. And Sandy was in the living room. I had emptied all the furniture, not all the center of the coffee tables and whatever, and the chairs, so I could make all these various piles. And if you look at the TikToks and or the YouTubes, you can see that I have all these piles of stuff. And so now, as I made the piles, I didn't bother keeping track. But as I was putting these baggies back into the bins, I kept track in an Excel spreadsheet. Love you, Jeff. An Excel spreadsheet. And there are a few things in there that did not surprise me, and there's a few things in there that did surprise me. So I put down all the classic space set numbers. Again, classic space going from 1978 to 1999 in this context. All those themes. And so I have all the set numbers and the names because I'm not good with names half the time, and then how many of each I have. And again, this is not to brag. This is for me to say I have to do something about this ASAP. Stat, because this is literally, I'm not saying it's on the disgusting end of things, because I know people out there in the world that have far greater space collections, Lego space collections, than I do. There's some people I actually know on all my various Facebook feeds that have a far greater, far more expansive Lego space collection than I do. But that's 100% love them for it, and I want them to keep doing what they're doing. For me, as I say, I've ever since I've got past the half-century mark, and this is just me. Other people can be older than me and not care. I have had the yearning, the niggling in the back of my head, the little voice in my head saying, I'm a little uncomfortable having this much. There's no justification for it beyond the fact that I don't want other people taking care of it. Should I not be around? No, I'm going to be around. There's absolutely nothing wrong with my health. Again, to be very clear, I got a clean bill of health from the doc. Nothing. I'm not going anywhere. But it's better to do it now while I'm perfectly healthy and cogent and whatever. The faculties, the physical faculties, the intellectual faculties are still firing on all cylinders. Possibly not. And to free up space in the house. I mean, it's not just for my sense of, little unease. It's to free up space in the house, because the house is a mid-sized townhouse, or a small to mid-sized townhouse. And I want this room to be it for Lego. I don't mind a few totes, but right now I reduced 9 to 8 just by repacking and getting rid of miscellaneous stuff that I'm going to sort into the collection. I wanted a full and complete sets out there, and I got the 9 totes down to 8 totes. Now, 4 of the 8 totes, 4 of the 8 totes are just classic space. The other 4 totes are Unitron, Ice Planet, blah, blah. 4 of the 8 totes are strictly classic space. Now, on top of the classic space, because I did fill up completely, each bin was full to the top, because I did have some sort of organizational structure. There was some room somewhere, so I put my few Life on Mars sets in there. I put Benny's spaceship in there. I put some of my mocks in there, my 6890 homage in there that used to be in the space layout. So and Peter Reed's mechs are in there, so they're not full to their brim. Those 4 are not full to the brim, but it's about 3.5 totes of classic space, solely classic space, and the other 4 bins are everything else from Futuron to Explorians. So out of 155 sets, because I think 155 set numbers between 6880 and 6991, because again they don't use every number, but 6880, 155 set numbers that are classic space. I got rid of my total. That's stupid. I had the Excel thing all done. And sorry, to be clear, I also included in this spreadsheet, I have a column of what's in the storage containers, the totes, and what's in the layout. So I have 2, what's in the layout, what's in the storage containers, and nothing down here, because again I have I forgot I have a Galaxy Explorer right up there. So that's not even counted. And I have Invader there, 2 Invaders there. I have a 918 somewhere in here. So I didn't even count what's in here. So I actually have more, but not too many more. So I'm not even gonna worry about it. But out of 155 sets, I have 377 physical sets. So there's duplicates. I have 377 duplicate sets. Now, some sets are 0, because they themselves it happened a lot in Unitron and Insectoids, where one set has 3 or 4 different set numbers. I only added them to 1, so there's some zeros in here. But 377 in all those totes in Ziplocs, 100%, hopefully 100%. So 377. But if I sort by total, largest to smallest, here we go. 6890 to Cosmic Cruiser. I have 13 of those reconstituted and in those totes. There's not in the layout. I have 13 6890s. I could probably build more. 6880 Surfax Explorer comes in at number 10. 10 Surfax Explorers. No, one of my favorite sets, and I got it for Christmas. But I did reconstitute. I did a video years ago of reconstituting a bunch of those. So I have 10 in the totes. 918. I have 3 in the layout and 6 in the totes. So that's 9. 918s. 924s. Or sorry, the next highest one. Oh, it's still 9. Coming in at number 9 again. 9 of them together. 928 Galaxy Explorers. There's 6 in the totes, 3 in the layout. 9. My peak was 12. But I gave some to charity and I sold some to friends and whatever. What shouldn't surprise anybody because I just did the video a couple days ago. I have 9 beacon tracers, the Amtron beacon tracers. You saw them, 8 of them right here, and I had 1 in the tote, so now there's 9. And also coming in at 9, the 889 radar truck. 3 in the layout and 7 in the totes. Or 6. Oh, there's only 8. I gotta get glasses. There's only 8 radar trucks. Only 8. And it's a small set, and I could build a lot more because that's a pretty generic and ubiquitous pieces. Mobile rocket launcher 897. I got 8 of those. Galaxy Commanders. You saw me reconstitute a whole bunch of Galaxy Commanders in the past year, and I had a whole bunch before. I now have 8 in total, completely reconstituted Galaxy Commanders. 924, I have 7. 3 in the layout, 5 in the totes, or 3 in the layout, 4 in the totes. 6842 Shuttlecraft, you know it's one of my favorite sets of all time. I have 7 of those, 5 in the layout, 2 in here. I can build a billion more but I don't bother. The one that's a little bit odd, I have the Galactic Peacekeepers. I have 7 of those out there. 7 of those, and I finally figured out I have 7 robot command centers out there in totes. Space Probe Launcher 6870, again, one of my favorite sets. It's got 6 of those. All-terrain vehicle, 1 in the layout, which I forgot to put here. 1 in the layout, and 6, so I have 7 of those. The Renegade, I have 6. The problem is that 2 of them, possibly 3, are incomplete because they do not have the yellow 2x2 tile with black stripes on it. So they're incomplete, 2 or 3. So I have 3 complete and 3 not complete. That's fine. The rest of the pieces are there. 885 Space Scooter, you can build those a million times over. I'd say I have 5 built in Ziplocs, 1 in the layout and 4 in the thing. Ice Tunnelator from Ice Planet, I have 5 of those, blah, blah. So it gets down to the smaller things. 5 Spy Tracks, the Space Police 1 Spy Tracks. It's one of my favorite sets. And it's a really cool set. ISAT 5. We love the ISAT 5. 5 of those. Warp Wing Fighter. You saw me reconstitute a whole bunch the other day. I have 5 of those out there. We won't talk more about space, classic space. Except the mobile tracking station with intact, clear, trans-clear radar dishes. 4. so 6822, of course I got a billion of those. X1 patrol craft, I'd say I have 4. I've seen 4 now. The Invader, I didn't even count these ones. I have 4. A lot of 4s here. Mobile Lab, Starfleet Voyager, 2 in the layout, 2 in the air. Mobile Rocket Transport 6950. I only have 4. Actually, I was surprised. I thought I reconstituted more of those over the years. I only have 4. Only have 4. So, Beta 1 out there in the totes, 4. What the hell? Space Dyer. Okay, I have to look that up. Rocket Sleds, got lots. Surface Rover 6804. Geological inspections. We get down here. The Gamma 5. I love the Gamma 5. 3. So we got 3 of those. Uranium Search Vehicle. If you want a quintessential fantastic set for classic space for a vehicle, you're not going to get better than the Uranium Search Vehicle. It's when I was younger, the Uranium Search Vehicle was better than the rocket launcher 6950. The Uranium Search Vehicle was so cool. It was fantastic. 3 of those. I would want to build more, but I'm not going to. FX Star Patroller 3, one of Chris's favorite sets. Deep Freeze Defender. So now we're back to a big set, and I have 3 of those, again, from used lots. Alpha 1 Rocket Base 2, Mobile Command Center 2. All these are tiny, don't care. TriStar Voyager, I always liked that one. Blew it up once. Modular Space Transport, couldn't give a rat's patootie. Monorail Accessory Track, obviously I bought 2 of those. I have, I don't know how many. And they're not in the totes, they're right here. Monorail stays in this room. But the 6991 too, I have 2 6991s in totes, not with the base plates and not with the monorail track, but with the all the other pieces, including the train, including the monorail itself. And I did that for the 6990. I only put 1 down here. I won't even tell you how many I could possibly build. 6990 and 6991 are in Ziplocs without the base plates and without the monorail, but everything else, including the monorail motor, the wire, the battery box, and the base plates for the monorail trains. 6971 Intergalactic, I always forget the name of this, Intergalactic Command Base. I have 2 of those out there. It is a wonderful set. Again, no base plates. If somebody buys them off me, I'm taking base plates out of here. I have to remember to do that. Exploring Starship, you know I have 2. At least they're listed here. Cosmic Fleet Voyager. Now this one did surprise me a little bit because I thought I had more because I sold a bunch. Oh, sorry, I didn't even include this one, so I do have 3. It says 2 here. I have 2 brand, almost looking new Cosmic Fleet Voyagers in the totes, and I didn't count this one. Although I wouldn't count this one because there's no way I'm selling that. There's just no way I'm selling that at all. 6991 I mentioned I have 2. Anything else big in here? XD Starship 6780. I keep on meaning to reconstitute another one because I know I got one in the used lot and I know I bought one off the store shelves. The XT Light and Sound set. The other bigger set, the sonar transmit, I don't, whatever it is, I built once a million years ago. I never bought it new. I'm not even sure I could build it. I don't know. I should try that sometime because I should do the Light and Sound sets. The little robot I bought off the store shelves, but I also bought the XT Starship off the store shelves, and I know I got one in the used lot, so I should have that at too, but I never built my original. I built the one that I got in the used lot. Let's see what else is in here. Everything's all, we're on the ones now. Seismic Logic Vehicle, 6844, like all these ones down here. Moon Rovers, Suborbital Guardians, all these. Star Defender 200. I thought you wrote down 2. No, Star Defender 200. I only have 1 built. I have 2 or 3 panels over there that say 200 on them. I could build more. Solar Power Transporter. This one actually did surprise me because I know I love that set. I absolutely adore that set, and I know that when Jeff and I first started doing layouts years ago, I was building sets, I had 2 or 3 in one of our shows. But they're not built now. I only have 1 built, and I probably built it for the review. And so when I have built the Solar Power Transporter. Space Isolation Base. Now, Space Isolation Base is a unique set for me because I know I bought 1 off the shelf. I also know that I got like 2 in used lots. I only have 1 together in a bag that I did it for the reviews. I know that I shipped a good friend of mine down south because he didn't have the printed tiles for that, so I shipped them a set that I had, and I believe I have 1 more set of tiles because I think at least one of those tiles is either rare or unique to that set. So it would be, and again the trans red antennas, which I have no more of, but I do know that I made a lot of those little gel cells and they're everywhere. Stellar Recon Voyager, blah blah blah, Android base, don't care. Polaris 1 Space Lab. I could build probably 3 or 4 or 10 of those, but I only have 1, and I did it for the review. I got another one in a used lot, so I know I could. I know I bought one off the shelf back in the day, which is, when you actually come to think about it, when you say when you think about this, I bought the Beta 1. I bought the intergalactic command base that we just talked about, 6970, 6971. I bought those myself with my own money. I bought the Cosmic Fleet Voyager. I bought the Galaxy Commander. I bought the Amtron Megacore Magnetizer. When it's really odd is I never ever bought, where are we going through here? I was just looking at it. Polaris I bought, Beta 1, blah blah blah, all the bases I bought. Mission Commander from Space Police 1 I bought. Like I was complete Space Police 1, complete Mtron, complete Blacktron 1, Blacktron 2 almost complete except for the Alpha Centauri, which again is here, and I have one. When you think that I would buy the Polaris Lab, which is meh said at best. I did a review on it, I actually liked it. But I did not buy the Robot Command Center. I would not buy the Robot Command Center. It's just odd when I think about it now, because Robot Command Center would have been cheaper, smaller, better to buy more of. No, I have 7 of them. But back in the day, I didn't buy it at all. And then yet I bought the Polaris Lab because maybe I just needed blue minifigs. I don't know. I just find that very odd that that's the way I did. 6990, I mentioned one. So yeah, so those are all my set numbers and the number of that I bought. So what I did for Classic Space, I sorted out 3-digit numbers, which includes the Galaxy Explorers and 924s, 926s. How many 926s did I have? 926s, I have 2 reconstituted, and I thought I had one right up there, so I have 3, but I'm not going to put that in there. Maybe I'll add a column for what's in my room. So I have 2 command centers. I don't have any in the layout. So I put all the 3 digits in one bin, including all the Galaxy Explorers and Alpha 1 rocket bases, and the mobile tracking stations are all in one. That pretty much filled it up to the top, and then I put Benny spaceships on top of that to completely fill it up. Then the next tote I put in the 4-digit Classic Space bases, the 6970, the 6971, all the other bases, blah blah blah, and then I sort of all the miscellaneous sets that were not a designated spaceship or a vehicle, and sets that I didn't really care for. so I have a tote of Classic Space 3 digits, I have a tote of bases, I have a tote of vehicles, and I have a tote of ships. In the ships, I mentioned I have 7 or 8, however I had the 6980s. I have a plethora of those, 6981s, 2 of those, or 6985s, 2 of those, and the 6890s. I have 10 of those. So I put those basically filled up the bin in and of itself. Now I put the Gamma 5 in there, the FX Star Patroller. So I got a whole tote of just spaceships, which is great. And then the vehicles, the rocket launcher, the 6880, all the uranium search vehicles, I put all the vehicles that have wheels in the other tote. So 4 totes, organized enough that if somebody wants something, wants to buy us off, because I am going to start selling those. So I did talk in the video, the hour-long video of my life on YouTube. This is the thing. I have been saying this for years, and you guys heard me say it on this channel for years, that I wanted to go to a show with these totes and just put everything together and put it all on display. All these sets, 377 sets-ish, on display. Plus, I'll probably grab these 2 and the ones from the layout. And so it'll be 400 sets. Get them all out there. It's like, look at all the sets. Not for an ego stroking thing, but people, it'd be fun, I would have thought. But then when I'm looking through these, I'm pulling them out, and they're in the baggies. And of course, I showed you how I take apart the 6950 rocket launcher so you can store it without breaking the ladders and the 1x1s with the vertical stud inside. Because I take them apart, and then they get thrown into a bin and they break apart even more. I was looking at all the bags, and there's not a single set in any of those bags that's together completely. So that means I'm going to have 400 sets to reconstitute. Now, they're mostly together, hopefully. The Starfleet Voyager is not mostly, because it's hard to take that one apart easily because it just completely disintegrates. Because anyway, there's a few sets that there may be 3 or 4 or 7 pieces, but there's a lot of sets that are, you'd have to put, and then you'll need the instructions in case you can't put it together properly. The Explorians capital ship, the Interstellar Explorian ship, is really much dismantled because there's a lot of air in it and I wanted to compress it down. So I took that thing apart a lot. And so you're putting that back together at a show. And I mentioned, and this is what I said in the video, and it's the same thing I'm going to say here. One of my biggest banes, and again, it's just me, and I love people who don't have this bane. I have this bane. And I think it actually started with the square. And it kind of went on from there when Jeff and I did the 12.5 by 12.5. That took us 2 days to set up. 2 days, more than 2 days. We were populated on the third day. So, and then the show's over and we're taking it down. I loved it. It's one of my favorite layouts of all time, the square. Like it was go look for the Christmas Train Show 2009, I think it is, maybe earlier. And you'll just see that it's a huge square of tons of monorail track, not breaking the record by any means, but but it took us a long time to set that up. And then we're setting up during the show when people are walking, the public are walking through. And that's when I first started thinking, I really honestly started thinking that we have to come up with a way of getting the stuff set up quicker, better, faster, and with less breakage. So when you go to let's just take some numbers. The show starts at 5 p.m. on a Friday, and they let you in the door at 9 or 10 p.m. 9 a.m. in the morning. That's fine because you got 6 hours to get set up. But most shows that I go to, that I've done in the past 10 years, most shows that I go to, the doors open between 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. and they allow you in at 7 a.m. That's it. Sometimes they have the night before. Very rarely do they do the night before, but sometimes, and then you can show up the night before. When we did, it was Trolog. I can't remember now. The Kids Fest. You could go there the night before and set up. For me, I didn't want to do that because I'm driving in from Hamilton to the airport in Toronto, which is a 45-minute drive. So I go there on Thursday. Oh, it's because it's Kids Fest. So I go there on Friday night at 6 p.m., set up, drive home, and then go back at 7 a.m. in the morning. No. So I show up at Kids Fest at, I think every day was 10 to 5 or 10 to 5. I showed up at 7, and they let me in, and I got the thing set up and up and running before the public showed up. It took me 2 hours. It's fantastic. I like that. I like the 2 hours, not the 2 days. I like the 2 hours, not the 8 hours. I like the 2 hours without rebuilding everything. And so I was thinking when I was looking at all the baggies all over the floor with 377 sets basically, that if I bring this to any show, I'm going to be, the entire show, I'm going to be rebuilding these sets. Like literally the entire show. Now, if my friends Dana and Paul and Kaon and Jeff and like literally all my classics, Jeff Brundage, like all my friends named Jeff, these are the Jeffs I know. I know a few. All my classic space friends, if they were all there, they would be helping for sure. Chris, Mark. But in the end, I can't count on that. In the end, that's 8 totes that I have to haul somewhere. And if I'm bringing those 8 totes, I'm not bringing the layout. And so that's just the entire show is me setting this stuff up and then me taking it down afterwards. And so I thought, no, I'm not going to do that now. I do want to keep one of each set. I do want to keep one because I am going to do the table runners. It's been on my mind forever. I'm trying to find a nice printing place that would print this stuff for inexpensive on vinyl so I can just roll it out. So I want to keep one of each set. Clearly, because I have one of each set. So, but I don't need 10 copies of the 6890. I don't need 10 copies of that, or 13, whatever I said, or the 6880. I don't need 10 copies of that. I don't need 3 deep freeze defenders, although that's probably gonna be the last to go as the Ice Planet. but like, yeah, so I'm going to start. I do have another tote of non-space sets in the garage and another tote that I'm going to start selling first. But I'm not going to now. I was adamant about not selling classic space because I was going to do this show with all the classic space sets. I've changed my mind because I just looked at it and I cried. Well, I didn't cry. I said there are far too many sets that are busted. And it's going to take a long time to put these together. and I don't want to do it. I want to go to a show, sit up for 2 hours, and then sit back and enjoy and talk to the public. I mentioned this before. One of my most favorite things to do at a show now is just to talk to the public. And I want something set up that I can talk about, and something that's captivating for the public to come over and talk to us. But during the public hours, I want to be sitting there or talking or standing there talking to the fans. I don't want to be like furiously trying to get this thing up. And so I talked about this many times before. Something that is show ready, because they have a show and you have to be ready for it. So I have made a whole bunch of mocks over my life to add to the layout, like grabbers and programming and all the robotics and whatever that work part of the time but not work all the time, and therefore it's not show ready. Because when you're at a show, a public showing of our stuff, you want it to be professional, which means it's going to work. And me scurrying around the huge table of classic space bits trying to put all this stuff together while the public's walking through, really it bugs me. I don't want to do that. I've been there before. I did that a few times where I wasn't finished setting up and the publics are looking at it and watching me run around, and I don't want that to happen. So I am going to so I'm going to change my mind on that. Now, I'm not going to change my mind about the table runners, because that's easy, because it's just one set per, the one theme per table runner. I can put those together. Right? I can keep them in a tote all by themselves. And I won't have to, because 8 totes, 377 sets have to fit into 8 totes. Trust me, there's breakage. There's less air in there now. And to make less air, ships come apart. Vehicles come apart. Bases come apart. And so it makes for better storage. So that's the way that is. And I'm comfortable with this decision now. When I looked out there in the living room, and you can see, so I've even, I think, uploaded a quick TikTok video. So if you don't want to watch an hour long of YouTube, you can watch a TikTok video. And I'm probably going to upload the same short to YouTube. I want to be comfortable in this hobby. I want other people to do what they want. Again, I want to be very, very clear. This is just 100% me. It's not me. It's not you. It's me. So all my friends who want to do all this stuff and want to like set up during the show, that's perfect. I don't have a problem with anybody else doing it. And if I can help, I'm going to help. But for my sense of mind, I want to be ready for a show when the public opens the door. When they open the door for public. That's a better way of putting it. So anyway, I had fun today. I'm glad I got this spreadsheet now. What I'm going to say is I'm going to try to upload it somewhere public so you guys can look at it and you guys can say, oh, you got 6 of those. Can I have 1 or 2? Whatever. And we'll come up with a price. And usually my price is the lowest price on Bricklink-ish. Depends on what that encompasses. But below average price on Bricklink for sure. Because I will not, that's why I don't open a Bricklink store. I will not guarantee all the parts. And some of my sets do not have minifigs. So, but I'll make that clear before people buy them, what's in the set and what's not in the set. But overall, 99% of the pieces are there, sometimes even 100. But anyway, that's my plan. The 3-digit sets, sorry, I'm not selling those. Yes, I have 9 Galaxy Explorers. And I'm going to keep 9 Explorers. I will probably donate some to charity at some point. Probably the Truro Lug Brick Festival, Bricks in the Six next year, or this year coming up. I'm probably going to donate some stuff to that. But the 3-digit sets, those will be absolutely the last to go. The beta ones, come talk to me. the Galaxy Commanders, absolutely talk to me, because like that's just absurd. It's absurd that I got that many of those. I had fun. It's just high quality H2O. Nice king. Yeah, so I don't have anything else to talk about. So shocking. 34 minutes. So I'll try to find a spot to upload this thing Google Docs or somewhere, and I'm going to see what I can do to downsize, because 8 totes is excessive, and I don't mind reducing the number of those totes down to 3 or 4. I don't know if I'll be able to do that in a cohesive fashion. I'm winging it. I'm just looking at this now. I'm going to sort by theme. Blacktron 2, not too many duplicates. 3 Allied Avengers, 4 Spectral Stargliders. Yeah, it's fine. Classic Space, Surface Explorer 10, Cosmic Cruiser 13. Definitely going to be able to downsize some of that without any issues. Explorians, I do have 2 of the capital ships. I don't need 2 of the capital ships, but I have 2 of the capital ships, and I don't mind losing one of those. Futuron, I don't have hardly any duplicates, which I found very odd, actually. Astro Dart, no, that's not, 2. Hovercraft, that's Future, it's Future, Hovercraft Futuron. Monorail Accessory Track, sorry. Ice Planet 3, Spice Digger, I think it's supposed to be Digger. Ice Tunnelator 5, Celestial Sled 4, Blizzard Baron 2, Ice Sat 5, Sat 5, I have 5, shocking. I don't mind losing some of those. Deep Freeze Defender at 3, I definitely don't mind losing some of those. So we can talk about that. Insectoids, I have 2 Arachnoid Star Bases. I don't mind losing one of those. But that's it for Insectoids. Everything else is just 1. Mtron, Pulsar Charger 2, Beacon Tracer 9. But who's going to want to buy one of those? Because they're stupid little vehicles. Vector Detector 3, Celestial Forger 2, Particle Ionizer 4. If you want a particle ionizer, you know who to talk to. So I only need 1. Megacore Magnetizer 1. Space Police 1. I have 7 Galactic Peacekeepers. Again, a small little ship. I don't know who wants that. Wants one of those. The Spy Track, I have 5. I like that one better. So if you want some of those. Space Police 2, I have 3 Rebel Hunters, but everything else is 1. Spyrius, I have 2 Saucer Scouts, 2 Recon Robots, 2 Saucer Centurions. I don't mind losing those at all. And UFO Cyber Saucer, I have 3. Space Plane, I have 2. And of course, the Warp Ring Fighter, I have 5. So there are going to be some, and Monorail Transport Base, Unitron. I may think about selling one of those with or without track. With track, it's going to be a lot more expensive, but without track, and you guys can source your own track. But again, the Monorail Transport Base, it's like one of those sets that is really cool-ish, and you got the ramps-ish, and you got the switches-ish, and you got all that stuff-ish. But when you take away the monorail itself, the monorail track itself, and the base plates, it's a pretty small set. There's not a lot of pieces to it. It's big because it's the monorail. And so I'm looking at the bag, and I'm going, oh yeah, without the base plates and without the monorail track, this is hardly any pieces here. So it's like, what would you sell that for? And who wants it? The monorail transport base, the 6991 Unitron? I don't know. I don't know who. I'd rather have the monorail 6990 with all consideration that there's no switches and stuff in the actual original monorail. But the Futuron set is far more cooler than the Unitron one, in my opinion. The Unitron one has bigger things going for it. It has 2 switches going for it, and it has really cool offloading things on it. Straight up, it does. That's the cool part. That's the cool factor of Unitron. Either the flying ship at the bottom or the wheeled thing at the bottom. Really cool. But other than that, it's meh. It really is. Futuron for me is far better. And this is me talking about how good Futuron is. If you believe that. Dave's getting old. He's senile. He's talking about how great Futuron is. I'm going to say when I was sorting things into the bins, and sorting out the Futuron over there, a big little pile of Futuron and a big pile of UFO and a bigger pile of Space Police one. And of course, a massively behind me pile of Classic Space. I won't say I've been too hard on Futuron over the years. I won't say it. because this is a running joke now. They had some cool sets. They really did. Like even the 200, they had some really cool sets. I just found it to be grossly incomplete. They looked incomplete. Explorians is Futuron, except with trans neon green, but their sets seem more complete than Futuron. There's so many. It's just kind of like a skeletal structure, like for everything. Like even if, and again, Futuron monorail is far better than Unitron, but the base in Futuron for the monorail is really cool, but it's bereft of detail. It's like it's got these two trans blue antennas sitting in the middle of nowhere, but inside the base that moves back and forth with the trans blue domes, there's nothing. They got two little command consoles. There's not even like hardly a chair, right? It's like, really? You guys didn't put any effort into detailing. There's no details in Futuron. Explorians added more detail, but again, if you take off all the trans neon green or convert it to trans neon green to trans dark blue, it would fit right into Futuron easily because it's white and black, and it's just as much white and black at the same ratio. So it's like, I would seriously consider at some point to rebuild all of Explorians in Futuron just by removing the trans neon green and making it trans dark blue if I can. I'm just thirsty all the time right now. And we keep the water so freaking cold in the fridge. It's awesome. So anyway, that's it. That's all. By the time you see this video, I'm probably going to have some stuff for sale on Facebook Marketplace. Possibly. Because this is going to be released after my birthday in May, actually. So it is what I'm doing. And I am putting the kibosh on the big show. What I may do is I may just limit it to classic space. And when I say classic space in this context, it's classic space from 1978 to 1981. the 3-digit sets, because I do have a lot of those, and just put those out on a display. An interesting display would be, because I got all those landing pads over there, all the Galaxy Commanders in a row, because Galaxy Commanders on a base plate look pretty awesome. I'm going to say that Galaxy Explorers look really awesome on a base plate, but Galaxy Explorers are gray and the base plate's gray. So, whereas the Galaxy Commanders are white and blue, and therefore they stand out more on a landing pad than the Galaxy Explorer does. I've done that before. I did a show, I think, up in Janie's store, where I just used Galaxy Commanders and 6890s. That's what I had. 6980s and 6890s across the board. Because it's fun. It's a unique thing to do, because if you have the number of sets that you can do it, knock yourself out. I have 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 landing pads on the layout. It would have been fun to have all of them full of Galaxy Commanders. Or just a combination of Galaxy Explorers and Galaxy Commanders. They're all full landing pads, but that's not going to happen. I'm rambling now. I did have fun today. I really did. Why is that odd? What did I sort this by? I just used a filter. I'm just going to go back to set number. I did. Because since I didn't add Unitron, I just dumped all the Unitron and Spirius into one. I think Unitron only have 4 sets in it to begin with. I only have one Unitron set listed, which is a 6991, because I have 2 of them. So I didn't bother. When I look through this, I am happy in a way that after 50 years of collecting, so Classic Space came out when I was, we'll say this, over 10, because that would have been a year after I was 10, so we'll just say 10. I'm 56 now, so 46 years of collecting classic space sets. 45 years of collecting, 40 is a nice number. 45 years of collecting classic space sets, and I have 377 built of 400s, because I'm forgetting all these guys. 400 built